Coming up on Mountain News this morning, as the class of 2020 misses their chance to walk across the stage, one woman shares how it was a moment she had waited decades for. And we show you how Apple Shop in Letcher County continues to promote art in Appalachia while maintaining pandemic safety measures.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning. Today is Wednesday, June 17th, or like we call it around here, Hump Day. And those temperatures have been really nice outside. Like these are the last couple days of spring and those cooler temperatures. Let's bring in Brandon Robinson. Let's enjoy this cooler weather, right, Brandon, before we get to those scorching temperatures.
That's right, because you're going to be begging for these cooler temperatures once we get into the weekend, especially if you're like me, because I'll tell you, I'll complain all the time when the heat comes, but when it gets cooler, wintertime don't bother me any. Let's take a look outside the WIMT studios this morning, and you'll see, again, just cloudy skies, mainly overcast, and that's going to be a trend of the day. I think it's partly to mostly cloudy skies, but mostly is the key word there in that sentence. We're looking at temperatures in the 50s and 60s this morning, as we've been seeing the last couple of mornings there, comfortable with the dew points as well. Getting a little closer to that sticky category there in Prestonsburg and Pikeville, Logan as well, but everybody else there basically comfortable or even close to refreshing there across the region. Your out the door forecast is going to feature, again, mainly clouds. Some sunshine could peek through at times, and scattered chances for showers will be around throughout the day as we top out right around 70. Yes, 70 for a daytime high. Average high for this time of the year, 82 degrees. The rest of the forecast on the way here in just a little bit. Lacey?
Thank you, Brandon. The USA Drone Port in Perry County has a new partnership with Embry Riddle Aeronautical University in Florida. Not only will this allow educators from around the world to interact with Appalachia, but will also provide a unique workforce. I talked with the executive director of USA Drone Port about the new partnership. Some say the partnership between Hazard Community and Technical College and Embry Riddle Aeronautical University is a match made in heaven.
Without leaving the college, you can move into Embry Riddle's four-year program and get an engineering degree.
The world's largest fully accredited university specializes in aviation and aerospace. They excel in online instruction, especially in the type of unmanned systems and aerotechnology programs offered at HCTC.
People can take these classes in Paintsville, in Somerset, wherever they'd like to, and it's developed so they have the ability to do hands-on.
That is Bart Massey, professor at HCTC and executive director of USA Drone Port.
We've got approximately 125 people who have got their pilot's license through our classes in this region, and a lot of them are using drones on a daily or weekly basis.
More good news. Through 3 AML grants associated with Droneport, 2 new buildings will now provide endless opportunities to the mountains.
This will give students from grade school all the way through university levels to come in and test ground and air robotics inside that facility.
Creating wind, rain, and various temperatures. The first of its kind, but not the last of what is to come from Appalachia. In Hazard, Lacey Roberts, WYMT Mountain News. Massey says that construction on the buildings can take up to 18 months. And HCTC will also be holding a virtual seminar with educators from Embry about the degree possibilities through the partnership, and that's on Monday. Felina Stacy is a Pike County woman who just put herself in the history books at Big Sandy Community and Technical College. The 55-year-old had a kidney transplant in 2017, then decided to make the most out of the good health that she was given. She enrolled in the school's industrial maintenance classes, becoming the first woman to graduate from the program more than 35 years after her high school graduation.
But I'm proud to say I graduated. I've made 1 B straight A's the whole time I've been here. I've worked really hard to get where I'm at today. And I hope that I can get a good job now and go to work. And if I can do it, anybody can. I mean, you can do it. You can do it if you want to. It's all you got to get up and do it.
Stacy says the infant kidney donor who saved her life is the driving force for her success. She does not want to take her gift for granted. An apple shop in Letcher County has promoted art in Appalachia for 50 years, and their Summer Documentary Institute, a summer workshop that has been around for 30 years, will look a little different this year due to the pandemic. Students from the age of 14 to 22 are still getting hands-on experience, just in a different way than they normally would.
Instead of producing our usual video work, we're producing audio pieces to kind of capture this moment of what it looks like in East Kentucky to live through a pandemic.
The Appalachian Media Institute hosts many different kinds of workshops each spring, summer, and fall. Some of the workshops double as internships, allowing students to get paid. That way, those interested who rely on summer jobs don't miss out on the experience. And reopening is a word mentioned a lot across Kentucky, and one brewery in southeastern Kentucky is making sure they stick to their roots while also staying safe. WYMT's Will Puckett has the story.
The inside of Fly Brewing is a place for patrons to come in and be groovy.
We still want to hold on to that culture of from the ground up, that our closest mates are those on either side of us.
But in mid-March, like everything else, the doors to this old furniture store turned brewery were shuttered.
The fear of not being able to accomplish any parts of our mission, let alone pay bills, was very, very scary.
The taps on one wall, accompanied by the watchful eye of a painting of John Prine on the other, emulate the mood of all who gather inside. Now that has become even more apparent to co-founder and co-owner Daniel Stroud.
In this boil down phase, those key characteristics and most important parts of ourselves became a lot brighter and a lot stronger. And all of that other clutter was really gone.
When asked if they're better off than they were before, Stroud says yes. But not because they survived the initial blow, but because they have found a way to adapt. As
we crawl out and move forward and find ways to grow, we have the resources and the appreciation of what we have right there in our hearts, so that as we do grow and move forward, that positivity and that gratitude is what comes through the strongest.
And as they sit back, selling loads of crowlers, running curbside and carryout, the future for what they planned here may be greater than they first imagined.
As part of our identity, I'm very proud to have made it through this quarantine and to be able to fly up into the trees and scream our hearts out once again.
In Somerset, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News. I know that's an easy way to put it, but
Fly is open Tuesday through Sunday. Stroud, his co-owner, a city official, plans to bring back live music in their alleyway, allowing for social distancing while also continuing their mission. And as the global pandemic continues, so are Kentucky's efforts to ensure that we will get through this together. One woman using her time in quarantine to paint them in honor of folks on the front lines in the fight against COVID-19. Tina has painted everything from medical staff to mailmen to police officers and even a priest. Half of the proceeds from each rock, are being donated to Kentucky's COVID-19 Relief Fund.
Retired from the Army, 9 years in the Army as a medic, and I really wanted to be able to get out and do something to help people, but health reasons I cannot. So this was a way I could raise money for people. They get a really cool piece of art, and I'm doing something to help.
Tina sent her first check off just last week, and with 3 pages of requests on her plate, she's looking forward to sending more. If you'd like to pre-order your own custom designed brick, you can find a link to this story on WYMT.com.
Pretty cool stuff there. Now it's time for our daily helpers and heroes segment, where we highlight folks on the front lines across our region during this COVID-19 pandemic. Let's go to our first picture this morning, and that one comes to us from Molly. This is Jody Blackburn. He's a truck driver from Phelps over in Pike County. Jody's been helping make runs across to keep much needed supplies coming into the region. Thank you, Jody, for being out there and helping keep the shelves stocked with the things we need. Our next picture was submitted by Melissa. This is Tiffany Shepard. She is an SRN RNA and Hazard. Thank you, Tiffany, for working to take care of those who need it the most right now. And finally, our last picture today was sent in by Melissa. This is Keith Napier. He's a nurse at Advent Health over in Manchester. That was formerly Manchester Memorial Hospital. Thank you, Keith, for being there for those who are the sickest, not only during the COVID-19 pandemic, but always. And of course, still time for you to get those into us here. If you want to go to the website, WYMT.com, you can submit those over on the Helpers and Heroes page, or you can send them to me on my work Facebook page. Just search Brandon Robinson, WYMT. Lacey?
Thank you, Brandon. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News. We'll be right back with more news this morning.